Episode 2.
Episode 2. What's up, everybody? My name is Matt. This is Kenny, and welcome to the BJJ Balance podcast. Today, we're going to talk about, well, first of all, I got a bone to pick. And I'm not saying I have a bone to pick with Gordon Ryan because we all love Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan is the hotness. He's been the guy for no gi for the last, 5 years or so. And Gordon Ryan's great, but I've been watching and coaching some tournaments, and I'm seeing so many guys thinking they're Gordon Ryan, and like when Danaher said avoid why not pay attention to half the human body or whatever he said. To me, I'm like, dude, why would he ruined everybody? Like, I have so many guys like winning. I was watching a guy compete. He could have won. And he's like, I'm going for leg locks. He just dives for leg locks. Position over submission has disappeared, especially in no-gi. Like, what happened to control? What happened to cook, smash, crush? That's gone away because everybody thinks they're Gordon Ryan. We're not Gordon Ryan.
I think if we're talking like an EBI rules tournament where it's submission only and you're not going for points, I can see maybe like a last-ditch effort to try to pull the submission out. But yeah, if you're playing points and you're up, why?
Submission only.
Right.
I mean, submission only. Yeah, you're going to go for your subs. I guess people's legs defense. Maybe I'm bitter. Because leg locks weren't cool until I was like a purple belt. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude,
right.
Someone teach me. But I just feel like there's no need when you're dominating, and I feel like in an MMA stance or self-defense stance, you're on top of someone crushing them. Why are you you're in top half, knee slice, underhook, and go. Why are we digging for the truck or whatever they call it, digging underneath, you know what I mean, and trying to get inverted.
Right.
Like, it makes no sense.
The only time I'll play like truck or anything kind of weirdy like that, I'd say weird, but I mean, I guess it's newer, is if someone turtles, and then I'll go, I'll scoop under the leg and go crossbody ride, and then either pull into truck or.
So you're saying stuff like I was like crossbody ride, the vapor.
Well, that's a wrestling term.
Yeah. But I'm saying like there's terminology where you're like what I was like I don't even know. Like to be fair, I don't even know the names of the regular moves. They're like, what's that one called? I'll be like, I don't know, man. I just been doing it for years. I don't know the names.
I remember when I was at a 10th Planet school for a little while, and they were talking about rubber guard. We're learning rubber guard for like 2 weeks. And I thought rubber guard was that one specific move. Well, no, rubber guard is like a type of guard, and that one specific move that I thought was rubber guard is a position called mission control. But there's like multiple positions in rubber guard.
And I'm like cool with like changing the cadence or the verbiage of the move. Like a lot of Brazilians like, he's trying to change jiu-jitsu. Like, hey, he ain't trying to jiu-jitsu. Right. But like when you're coaching against somebody and you're like, hey, go for this, and the guy's, your opponent's like, oh, I'm not gonna let him go for that. Right. Because they already knows the same verbiage. But by Eddie Bravo changing the verbiage of the move. Right.
Unless you've been into his school.
Yeah, you don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
And then so like that's classic boxing, changing your cadence of your fighting. Right. You know what I mean? So like I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. A lot of people in the jiu-jitsu community got butthurt about that. But for me, I mean, I thought that was just like a one-up for your team.
Do you think it's getting more with the growth of no-gi in the last few years? Do you think it's becoming more accepted from a jiu-jitsu standpoint? I remember for a long time, like maybe like 2017, 2018, there was like a big rivalry. And I don't think like in like a malicious way, but like between Danaher Death Squad and like the higher like 10th Planet guys competitive team.
I think that, that's always there. But like, I really think Eddie Bravo knows, like he got really deep into the leg locks. He's even said it multiple times on different podcasts that he got into it because he saw what the Danaher guys were doing. Right. So like he wanted to learn it. And I think like Eddie Cummings and all those guys, they're the ones who like kind of started taking it to the next level from Eddie Bravo. But I don't think it's close. I think that Donner's definitely got that leg shit on lock.
100%.
You know what I mean?
No pun
intended. I think he's got that on lock.
I think I've never seen any of his instruction like firsthand, but just the way that he talks, or like, you ever seen any of his Instagram posts, Danaher's?
I can't get through them. I'm not a reader. Like, hey, we talked about this on episode 1.
Yeah.
I'm not a reader. I'm like, oh man. I was like, I feel like I'm trying to agree to, like, are you agreeing to these terms? Like, like I'm just like scrolling down to get to I agree. Click the box. I'm like, where's the box? That's when I read a Donner. That's why when I can't get through Donner's posts.
Bro, you're making that into a meme.
I got it, right? It's got to be a meme. It's got to be. But yeah, no, like, I think the Gordon Ryan thing, like, Gordon Ryan, obviously, in my opinion, is the GOAT, no gi. I mean, he's definitely backed it up with his record and the guys he's beat. And, you know, he's making over 7 figures now, jiu-jitsu,
Easily.
like, crazy, right? Like, he's doing it. And he's that guy. But like, I also feel like he's kind of like Stephen Curry for the NBA. If you watch basketball, which, you know, I do, Stephen Curry came in, he's the greatest shooter of all time. And he's just shoots threes from half court all over the place.
Right.
But like, now everybody
Wants to be that guy.
wants to be Stephen Curry. So you got big dudes that should be on the block pounding the glass or just pulling up from 20. You know what I mean? Like, and this is bad basketball is being played by the younger generation. And I feel like Gordon Ryan, being such a unicorn and being so good at what he does, is doing the same thing when it comes to jiu-jitsu, especially no-gi jiu-jitsu. Now, leg locks are hard in gi jiu-jitsu because some people can't do leg locks.
Right.
And then the grips, the grips really slow you down. But
Right.
Definitely no-gi. I feel like Gordon Ryan his greatness has put a hamper on the game. Imagine like basketball, right? Imagine like every kid's just like, no more layups. We're trying to dunk. I was like, you can't dunk, man. You're little. Like, what are you trying to dunk for? Just lay it in.
I think there's body types for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe do you think leg lock game just due to your size?
I think leg lock game can be learned by anybody. I think jiu-jitsu can be learned by anybody. Anybody can do any move in jiu-jitsu, but I also think that jiu-jitsu was built for everybody, like you said.
Right.
I feel like the tall, long guy is going to be great at triangles. Right. You know what I mean? The short, stocky dude, put your belly on him. If God gave you a belly, use your belly. Right. If he gave you legs, triangle him. Like, find your game with your body.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. It seems like Gordon Ryan personally has moved away from doing a lot of leg submission stuff.
Yeah, I think he played everybody.
Right. Because now they're all trying to play catch up.
And he's like, old school, baby.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, he leg locked one guy in ADCC last year, and then
people are so scared of his leg lock game,
right,
that he's just getting on top now and just smashing, right? Because people are so defensive.
Right. Yeah.
But I think he's good anywhere. Obviously, the guy trains every day.
Yeah,
twice a day, right? Like, that's the dream, but not ours. But I'm already sore thinking about tomorrow's training and thinking about what am I going to show, what I'm going to teach.
You doing 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
Are you teaching all the 6 a.m.s? Does Jay teach sometimes?
Jay teaches Tuesday, Thursday. I teach Monday, Wednesday, and then Joey will teach Fridays. And sometimes I'll teach Fridays if Joey can't make it.
So they're 6 a.m. every day there?
They're 6 a.m. every day.
Okay.
Yep. And it just started off with, a couple of guys came and wanted to just roll in the morning, and Poncho hooked it up, and no one was there. Then all of a sudden, like, I was like, my schedule changed, and I started showing up. And then I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well show you guys something. And the next thing you know, now it's starting to grow pretty big.
Now it's a class.
Yeah, it's a class now. So
what's your average size, you think, on a morning time?
Mondays can be sporadic sometimes, but we always at least have 8 in the morning on Mondays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, Jason's classes are the biggest. You could have 20 plus guys in there. And then Wednesdays are like 15 guys.
That's
and
like
Fridays are big too. Just Mondays. People can't,
right.
Mondays, people just kind of dog it a little bit, but
you got to come back from the weekend.
And it makes me go to class now that I don't have to teach. Like, I have to wake up. My alarm hits 4:30. I'm like, oh shit. All right, I'm up. It's like,
oof. Yeah.
Feels good though. Once you work out early in the morning, I feel like it's like, I don't know if you've ever done that, like the early morning workout and then like
Not
beat the
working out,
sun.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Like, and then all of a sudden your workout's over and it's like, hey man, the day just started. Like,
Right.
feels like you got that edge.
I was talking to somebody about that in class. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, doing a morning class. Like I can only do it when I take like a day off of work during the week or something like that, just randomly. And I'll go hit a 6 a.m. class and then I'll come home, shower, and it's like normally I'd be at work, but like if it was like a weekend, like a Saturday or something like that, like I wouldn't even be getting up till 7:30, 8 o'clock. And it's already 8 o'clock. I've worked out, I've showered, like I'm up wide awake. There's no like, like slowly getting out of bed or anything. And then like the hardest part of my day's already been done. You know what I mean? Everything seems like a breeze after that.
It's like, and your diet's good. You eat good that day. Everything is good because you like already got that workout and you're like, I'm not going to mess it up.
Right.
Yeah. I actually prefer it. The hardest part is putting your feet on the ground in the morning. But once you get moving, I actually prefer the early morning class now.
Yeah. If I didn't work so early, that would probably be my thing. If I worked locally too, I commute. So
UFC last night.
Dude, a lot of first round knockouts. We wouldn't even get to the final fight yet, but a lot of first round knockouts.
Yeah, I mean, usually the cards that don't have names,
I think it's because they're trying to make a name.
Yeah, I think they feel like, hey man, this isn't a big card. Like,
I can make a statement.
People are going to watch me, like, because I would normally be an undercard.
Right.
So guys are just showing out. Like that one fight, who was it?
The guy it was his first
Top
UFC fight
versus the blonde kid.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, those guys were throwing leather too.
Oh my God. Yeah. And that was his UFC debut. And it was like a short notice fight.
Yeah. He took it.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Did you watch the post fight at all?
Yeah. The guy was,
or just Dana. I mean,
I saw the post press conference.
Yeah.
he pretty much said like that kid's going to,
yeah,
no one else wanted to fight. And he took it. You know what I mean? Like,
and then showed out, even though he didn't win. Like he didn't, I don't think he lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the eyes of the fans, especially.
And then Tuivasa took that L.
I know.
That's a big boy, though.
Dude, that was my one loss on verdict last night. Was I had him to knock out in the second.
You picked Strickland, huh?
I did.
This to win? Like, if I hit this, I'm winning the
I
verdict?
know. I said, so I picked, so the reason I grabbed Strickland on verdict was because Izzy winning wasn't a big boost. Like I wasn't going to get a lot of XP off of it.
Right.
So I'm like, Strickland's more. And then I picked sub in the fourth. And if he would have subbed, it would have been like 4,000 XP or something like that. So I was going for big numbers at that point, but
yeah, Sean's that dude, man. He's a tough round, bro. Like I've rolled with him multiple times. And he's a problem. Like people are like, oh, he doesn't jiu-jitsu. He knows jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Trust me, he knows it. He's not, whatever you see him saying or how he's acting, it's not a ploy. Like that is Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is rough around the edges. Not everybody's cup of tea. Technically not my cup of tea. I'm not
it's not your boy.
I'm cool with Sean, but like, I'm not going to it's not a guy I'm going to hang out with. Like, I just don't.
He's not coming over for family dinner or barbecue.
He's just, he's a wild boy.
Yeah.
So hey, congrats, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy to say, that I did not see that happen.
And it wasn't like a fluke, like puncher's chance knockout. Like, oh damn,
he dominated.
Yes, he looked first round fresh in the fifth.
It would have been better if it's the best way he could have won, because if he would have finished him in the first by that right hand and got him out of there, people would question. Oh well, he got him caught. He caught him, and next time,
yeah, no, he definitively won that fight.
I don't know if they fought like another 4 times,
right,
or 3 times. Like, I don't know how Izzy.
I think Izzy knows that Sean has a ground game, so he knows that that's not even an option, even though Izzy's not
right.
So that we can't let that happen,
And like he was just, I heard the coach of Adesanya was like, Sean would counter every punch he would throw counter. So like if he threw, not just every other counter, every time Izzy would exchange, Sean would throw right back, boom, boom, boom. Right. And he's like, and that's hard to deal with. And Sean is always in your space, walking you down. You can't get off.
Which is typically Izzy's game. Right. Izzy likes to put people on the back foot and kind of go at them and counter, let them make that first shot and snipe after that. And was not going to happen.
Do you think that since Sean clipped him in the first, that Izzy would have, because he always does that shell against the cage, right?
Yeah.
And lulls guys in, but you think since he got clipped, it took away his shell game, and he's like, I can't do that no more.
He tried it a couple more times, but I think Sean was just smart. I think Izzy was planning on Sean being typical Sean, where he kind of gets excited, especially when he hurts somebody, and he goes in for the kill. And I think he was trying to maybe pull that rope-a-dope Perea thing, but it just wasn't happening. Sean was so disciplined.
Yeah, I'm happy for Alex Zarate, Sean's first striking coach. He was in the corner last night for him. He's like been with Sean since he was a kid.
Yeah,
since like King of the Cage shit. So it was cool to see him. Get his little shine, hold the belt and stuff. That was cool. So congratulations, Strickland. Good shit, man.
And that's local too. Belt back in California, back in the local area.
So how many tournaments have you have you competed recently? Or? Three?
Yeah. I did a no-gi submission only tournament. That was my first tournament. That was an experience. I did just two. I did an in-house tournament, and then I did a jiu-jitsu world league, and I got second in that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, gi or no gi? I know you started off 10th Planet. You started off no gi. You got all that level black gear.
I
dripped. My man is dripped.
I've bought everything that they've released since I found out about them.
My man is dripped out level black.
But honestly, man, I think gi. I really like no gi. I enjoy no gi days. It's fun, but I am so in love with the technical aspect of gi.
The more the chess game.
Yeah. It's difficult, and it's like, and it's neat to see, like, we'll get these newer white belts in, and I can see the confusion in their face that I had at one point in time, and I'm like, I remember that, and like just to look at that and look where I'm at now, and not, I mean, I'm just barely a blue belt, but it's like just to see how much growth from that point to now, it excites me to see like what's coming up next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember just being a white belt and not knowing how to tie my belt. I remember like before class being like, I got this gi. I didn't even know like, how do I tie this thing? And standing there, and then a legit one of my old professors walking up to me and tying my belt like a child. I'm 24 years old. Just
standing behind you.
Just like, okay. And I'm like, oh, thanks, sir. Like, where's the orange slices? Like, just running out there. Like, I remember that was like, but those were like the fears I had when I first started. I was like, where do I stand? Or like the little stuff. So that's why I think people should adopt white belts.
Yeah. So, you know, the funny thing is in the last pod, which we technically haven't released yet, but we put quotes or little snippets out, clips. And no, we didn't do the adopted white belt clip. I sent the pod to a couple of people just to get a little feedback. And somebody came back with the adopt a white belt thing. I can't remember who
we
it
talked
was.
about it last. Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
On the first one?
Yeah. When we were talking about training dummies. No, we did release it. We did release it because we were talking about the training dummies, and you know the $8,000.
Right. Yeah.
I think that was our first clip, and somebody had said something about adopting a white belt, or no, it was my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like, yeah. I just like whether we talked about it or not. Like, I feel guys should. If I'm repeating myself, this is how important it is to me. Guys should adopt. You should adopt a white belt because you don't want to be that only guy that's going home taking L's. And I did talk about it. Now that I said that, I remember talking about it. So we'll move on. But
no, I think it's a valid point, though. It's something that after you said it last week, I went into class kind of with that mindset, like. But not every white belt should be adopted either. I think
some white belts should not be adopted.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, you can see the guys that like are really, really about it. Another reason I think it's important to adopt a white belt, and I think you'll agree with me here, is the new strong guy that just came from the gym that is on test and HGH and everything else, and he wants to rip your arm off, he's going to hurt somebody if somebody doesn't adopt him, pull them under their wing, and slow him down a little bit.
Right.
And show him like, hey, I get it, but you're gonna hurt somebody, and not like in a submission, like, yeah, you should be proud kind of way. Like, you're gonna fuck somebody up mistakenly.
And when you come,
or yourself,
you also got to feel like jiu-jitsu is combat.
Yeah.
So like, this isn't ballet. This isn't, this isn't yoga. We are literally going at it. So there's going to be egos. There's going to be tempers.
Yeah.
Some guys are going to get mad. There's been fights. There's been, scraps and guys going at it. Last week, fight, 2 guys had to separate them.
No shit.
Yeah, just talking.
Higher belts?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the belts, but
right.
Like, no, not higher belts, but like, they just.
Not white belts.
Not white belts. But they, like they got into it.
Wow.
It's like that happens. I've seen it happen multiple times in my journey. But this is the game. Like,
right.
There's 2 dudes going at it, saying who is the guy, and like, you know what I mean?
It was
like
an ego thing.
They're almost same belt. It's like, like it's an ego thing, and I think competition kills egos.
Yeah.
Like, and your teammates and your comp, once you compete once, you realize the guys in the gym, that's just training.
Right.
Compete once, you realize, hey, this is nothing. Because if you had never competed before, you think your rounds in sparring are competition.
Right.
But once you compete for the first time and you feel how amped up that is,
yeah,
you're like, wow, that was a whole nother level of
100%.
intensity.
Yeah.
So then when you go back to the gym, you're like, okay, now I can work on stuff I suck at.
Right.
So
right.
I think that, it's okay to lose in the gym if you're working on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to pull something from it, too.
You're going to take a sad shower. You're going to go home and be like, the water just hitting you. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, the sad showers got us all in jiu-jitsu. But it's part of the game. That's
right.
how you get better. You just take your L's, man. Oh, man, yeah, he keeps passing your guard. Yeah, it sucks, dude.
There's days where I'll leave class and my drive home's like 15 minutes, and I'll turn the radio off, and I'll literally just, I wouldn't say sulk, but really just kind of process like the ass whooping that I received that night. I definitely have off nights where it's like I'll go there and I can't beat anybody. Mm-hmm. Guys that I even normally have no issues with, like they got the best of me tonight. It's just like, fuck, like what did I do wrong? Like, and I'll start to pick things a little apart, like not in like a
just gets in his journal.
Right, right. You're right. Yeah, not a woe is me kind of manner though, but like damn, like what did I do wrong in that aspect, or this move that I normally do that normally works, how come it didn't work today? How come it didn't work on anybody today? Are people figuring my game out, or did I just have an off night and I don't know, but yeah, you have those for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're important.
And they happen less and less.
Yeah.
The more you do jiu-jitsu, but they also still happen. Like,
yeah.
I get my butt kicked sometimes. Like when I go to a comp class, I'll just get wrecked. I'm like,
right.
Oh, well, that sucked.
In all fairness, Checkmate Murrieta has an oddly high number of black belts in comparison to most schools. It seems like, you know what I mean. Most there might be 2, 3.
And then let me specify the scrum between the 2 guys at the gym wasn't like a legit like throwing hands. Like it was just like they start talking like a little bicker.
Were they already like
they
rolling?
Were rolling, and then it just got
Gotcha.
Someone thought someone was going a little rough, and they just got, and that happens.
Yeah.
You can't go into a roll and then not expect it to be 100% jiu-jitsu.
Right.
You could be like, oh, we're just flowing. Like, what is flowing? What is flow? That's like saying,
I've never had a quote unquote flow. I've had people be like, oh, you want to flow? And I'm like, sure. And we're just going full pace at that point.
Like, hey, like
there's no flow here.
Like, well, you want it like, I'll let you pass, and then you won't let me get my guard back. That's the flow you want to do.
You posted a meme yesterday that made me laugh, and it's you're not stalling, you're just not that good.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like what are you gonna do? Like you're just gonna. I don't know. Like in boxing or when they spar, like we're going 60%. Well, my 60% at 256 pounds is going to be different than your 60%.
Right.
I hit you. You're like, hey, man, what the fuck was
Well,
that?
and then how the fuck you like? How do I know that your 60% is 60%? Really?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then how do you know? Like, hey, I am flowing.
Yeah.
How do you like? You better be prepared, dude. Right. Tighten your belt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get your neck low. Grab a collar and go. Like that you're gonna roll.
Right.
Like don't be like, we're here to train. If you get beat, you get beat. But also, don't be a dick and do excuse me, do stuff that's going to, be mean to your partners. Like you shouldn't be cross facing somebody really, really hard or doing stuff like that just to be a dick.
Yeah. There's certain things that I feel like in roles in the gym, I won't crossface. I know how to do them. I know when to do them, and especially if I'm rolling with somebody. There's not a lot of guys my size. There's a few, but I won't go full weight on somebody. You know what I mean? Chest to chest. You know what I mean? Like I might put a little pressure on them, cook them a little bit, but I don't want to. If I'm going against somebody that's 160, if I outweigh you by 60 pounds, trust me, you're not getting all of my weight on your chest. But in competition, that's a different story.
So you did open mat on Monday, right? Labor Day?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. I went against a couple of white belts, and I wasn't being a dick, but I obviously did well
Get
there.
your W's on open mat.
But I also made sure that I went against some of your guys' blue belts, and I got wrecked, which I'm totally fine with. And the guy he was cool. I can't remember his name, but I asked him he caught me in an armbar, and it was like I said, did you bait me on that? And he goes, no, I knew it was there. So when you threw your arm out there, he immediately went for it. But it was so fast. It's like he was baiting. That's why I asked him. And then I went against one of your one stripe white belts who absolutely fucked me up too.
It happens.
Yeah.
We got,
yeah. He's built like a goddamn Avenger as well. So that's not fair.
Yeah. I mean, genetics matter.
Yes, they do.
In jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. It matters in everything. The world is not created equal, folks. I don't know the fairy tale that's being pushed.
I think Henner said it, and it was Henner. I just don't know if I'm quoting this right, but he said, if you're both the same belt, but the guy's got 20 pounds on you,
right?
He is now one belt ahead of you.
Okay.
And if he's got 10 years younger than you, make that another belt.
Right.
So if you're a 40-year-old blue belt at 150 pounds, you're going against a 20-year-old white belt.
Right.
You're both blue belts.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And if he's got weight on you, then he's a purple belt.
Right.
That matters.
Totally.
In jiu-jitsu.
Totally. There's certain things that I tried to do on him that just out of his strength, I couldn't fight it. You know what I mean? Like I tried to pull half. He just shoved my legs off like it was nothing. And I'm like, I really just put a lot of effort into that. My feelings are kind of hurt right now, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely and that's why when I enter those situations where someone there's not a lot of guys. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, obviously, but I'm not a small guy. And so there's not a lot of larger guys in my gym, so I don't deal with that frequently.
Right.
There's guys that are, maybe 20 pounds heavier than me. But
also, when I came that one day, it was like, oh, well, we got a big boy.
Right.
Or it's like when Poncho comes, like, oh boy.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's a different. Well, because Jay's not a big guy.
No. He's
not a small guy, but he's not a big guy.
There's a lot of guys in our gym though that have his kind of body type and whatnot. So his jiu-jitsu
works for them.
Right. But and what I like about Jay is that he's able to recognize that and he's very honest. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm going to show this. This might be good for bigger guys. It doesn't work for me just because of my body size, but I'm going to show you anyways.
That's what I like about Jason Medina, dedicated jiu-jitsu, Temecula, plug. I like the way he teaches and the way he enunciates his moves and the way he really kind of slows it down when he's talking. And I've even seen that with his son, the way he teaches now. He kind of adopted the same thing. Yeah. And that was the hardest part about me when I started teaching, because I've only been teaching probably a year, just because I was always just the guy who'd go get mine. I mean, even though I was high belt, I was just not. I was in it for myself.
Right.
Had my boys, but was in it for myself. But now that I'm teaching, which I love, and I knew that's something I wanted to do, it was hard to learn to teach to everybody. Now I can show a move on a demo on a reel, or I can, but like talking to 20 guys, that was hard.
And questions being asked.
Yeah, I felt like that was different skill levels. I felt like that was tough to do. So big shout out to Jason because he's so good at that.
Another thing I think he's good at too is he'll immediately watch around the class as after he's shown a move and we're drilling it. And he'll notice like, oh, they're messing up on this part of it. And then that group messed up on the same part. Like there's something I missed here. And he'll watch it again and he'll see where they messed it up. And then he'll immediately stop and be like, hey, come back. Let me run through this one more time. And he'll show that mechanic that he did, but he didn't talk about it just to kind of correct everybody. So we're not drilling it poorly or
creating bad habits.
Right. And then get us back out there to re-drill it. Not all of a sudden everybody's getting it after that, but he's very good about like finding a mistake that may have been made and immediately correcting it.
Yeah, man. I just every day you just learn something from this dang sport.
Yeah.
That was episode 2. My name is Matt. This is Kenny, and this is the BJJ Balance podcast. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.